Hey guys, it's me, your girl Chris. This is episode 147 of Shenanigans with Friends. Thank you guys for coming, getting back into the groove of the thing. So I just really appreciate all of the love for welcoming me back. I can't talk, but thank y'all. It's been great. So for anybody who's new or never listened to the show before, I took a small break for a couple of months this year just to kind of, unfrazzle my brain from, life and everything that's happening. And usually when I get DMs from people, it is, hey, can I be on your show? Hey, like, can you check out my fucking profile or check out my podcast or whatever the case is. So, like, different people will message me. But in my absence, I got this message from a woman named Kenya from California, Seaside, I believe. And she messaged me on March 18th. And I think that might have been right around or maybe a little bit before, or I don't know. It was very close to like where I wasn't in the space where I was going to stop with social media and stop with this for a little bit when I took my break or whatever. So she messaged me, and something made me just like, oh, let me just go look in my box. Now, a lot of it was the other stuff that I was telling you about, but this is something that I've never gotten in my whole life. Kenya messages me, and she sends me a clipping or like a link, a clipping. Oh my God, was it 1832? I mean, well, that's too. Anyway, okay, so she sends me a clipping. I said it again. She sends me a link to a Channel 8, which is a local station here, News Now, about a person that was hit and killed in a car crash or in a hit and run near Laughlin, Nevada. So I was like, wow, I'm looking at this link. And again, this is March 18th of this year. I just came back to podcasting last week, like as far as my personal own platforms where I'm doing editing and all that stuff myself. Anyway, and she sends me this message and she's saying, hey, the person in this link is my family member. And we don't know what happened, basically. So it happened in Laughlin, which is not too far from Vegas, but it is, you can't, I would say you can't like walk there. You feel me? And so his name is Tyrone Moore, and he's not missing or anything because, again, like I said, we know that he passed away due to a hit and run incident where he was struck by some kind of moving vehicle and they left. You know what I'm saying? He had some stuff with him, some like clothing and things like that. Kenya says that she's really not sure how he would have gotten out there. He does have family out here, but they're not really. I don't want to speak on their position just because I'm only getting information from one person about this, but they just don't seem to want to help. I don't really know. I know that there was some tumultuous relationships between him and the people that he has out here in Las Vegas, and that might have had something to do with why he might have he had luggage with him. There is zero help going on to try to figure out who killed this man. It's now July 19th as I record this, and we still have no leads or anything on who would have done this, who he was with, where they were going. You know what I'm saying? He was 30 years old. Like I said, he was found just over a week from when Kenya messaged me, where he passed away, like I said, struck by a vehicle, which would have then drove off. There is, Kenya shared a lot of information with me, probably information that wouldn't be pertinent to, or not pertinent, I shouldn't have said that, information that wouldn't have been easily attainable by just like a random person, right? So I've got a lot of voice notes and things from her, just to kind of detailing a little bit of his life, explaining the issues and the reason why there's not a lot of help on the Las Vegas side, because the relatives that are here, they're just, I guess they don't really get along, or there was a falling out. something to the effects, but there's nothing being done to try to help this man it come to justice, right? Like his killers become like, you know, I'm sorry, this is like, I'm just, as I'm talking about this, I'm just kind of reliving like our conversation that we had, and it's tough. I couldn't imagine losing a family member in that manner, let alone not having any idea of what happened and why. You know what I'm saying? But I don't really know like the fucking process, but Kenya says that there are some text messages that the police have yet to try to subpoena or to get pulled in regards to where he might have been going, or even a message to kind of even indicate who he might have been with. Now, there's something interesting, and I don't know that it's connected, but very close to around the time that Tyrone died, there was a man and a woman that were involved in a lot of like burglaries and like I think breaking it or robberies and shit like that. And the woman ended up getting away from the man and explaining that, you know, she had been kidnapped or whatever the case may be. Because the man got arrested and the woman was considered a victim, they don't release her name. But Kenya feels very strongly that these might have been the people that that her family member was with. I don't know. Like I said, it's a lot of unanswered questions. I'm just going to pull up a flyer, and I'm going to post this on my social media as well. But I want you guys to just take a look. Vegas is kind of small, but it's also not, you know what I mean? If he looks familiar to you guys, you know, say like, let somebody know. I have direct contact with his family member that is out here, like literally like stomping the fucking ground herself, like doing all of this legwork with like little to no help besides the family that's there. The problem with that is that they're in California, so there's not really a lot that they can do without any like super strong information for the police to go up on. And there also might be an issue where the police didn't initially investigate this the way that they should have, because he wasn't reported missing when he should have been. And again, that ties into a relationship dynamic between him and people that live out here. Like I said, I just wouldn't want this to happen to somebody that I knew, and I didn't try to do everything that I could. So his name was Tyrone Moore, and I'm going to share this with you guys. I'm just going to pull it up. This always happens to me. So if I take a moment just to tell Kenya I thank you for even like thinking of my plan that I can hear. I have another podcast where we talk about documentaries and people. There's nothing in me that wouldn't want to try to help you in any way that I can. So I will have this video up on YouTube. It'll be on all of my platforms. I will post this on my social media, and hopefully we'll get some kind of answers. Maybe somebody's seen him. Maybe you guys know him or know where he went. Maybe you guys lived in his apartment complex. He lived off of Channel 10 Drive, I believe. But whatever the case, like, I really just hope that, I mean, you know, if you guys know anything or have seen him or anything, just reach out. And okay, let's see. Here we go. I think I'm finally going to get it though. So we're going to go ahead and share it now. And yeah, so this is him. Like I said, if there's anything that anybody can do, if you guys have seen him, if you guys know somebody in like a high place that can help this situation, just anything at all. Beautiful smile, beautiful person, I'm sure. Like, regardless, there's no reason, especially so cruelly, and we don't have any understanding of what happened. But she's got an email address here, justicefortizehigh@yahoo.com. Like I said, I'll post this on my social media this week. I'll mention it on All Docked Up, whatever I can do, So, yeah. All right. So, that was a little different beginning of the show than I've ever done. So I'm going to now take a moment, since we're out of whack, I'm going to take a moment to shout out somebody. And I feel like I've written this down and I've meant to do this so many times. So please charge it to my head and not to my heart. Shout out to, I want to say it's Yatis or Yatis Blogs. Yatis. Please tell me if I'm saying it wrong. Tell me how to say it. But Yatis Blogs on YouTube. She is so, you were so sweet. She's constantly coming in, just telling me keep up the good work, and how when she's feeling down, like, she listens to me. That's crazy. Cause like when I'm down, like, I try to do this, you know what I'm saying? Like, when I can control that, like, but thank you so much. Like, I really do appreciate you from the bottom of my heart. Indie podcasters, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know when you get big if this means as much as it does to indie podcasters, but it means a lot to me. Even if you're the only person on one of the videos commenting, like, I appreciate you. I just wanted you to know that. I want to take a moment to shout you out and tell you, girl, I see you and I love you and I thank you. Okay. All right. So now that we've got all of that stuff out the way, I think we're ready to begin the episode. Guys, I hope you guys had a good week. I pretty much had a good week. Let's go ahead and get started, though. Who didn't have a good week is the ghost of Jim Henson. There is some shit happening at Sesame Place. I don't know if I don't know if there's gentrification. I'm not really sure what's happening, but there was a video, and I'm sure you guys have seen it, where a mother was filming her two daughters, and Rosita, one of the characters on Sesame Street, a Hispanic character, I'd like to point out, goes up and she's like high-fiving everybody else, and then kind of does the like nah, I'm cool, like, to like the two black girls. So then I'm like, okay, this is interesting, because like, who's gonna tell Rosita that she's brown too? But also, this isn't even the first video. So in looking at or trying to find this original video, I get like, we're going down like a spiral, and I'm finding like 2 or 3 other videos. There's one video where which one's got the long head? Bert? Yeah. It's one fucking video where Bert is like hella playing a black kid. And why is it always black kids? Like, what the fuck? Like, so of course they are sending out apologies. There was even a post. So the original woman with the 2 girls, where this all started, not saying that this is the first video of it happening. This is how the ball started rolling. She posted the video and goes, hey, this is fucked up, whatever the fuck. Kelly Rowland is like, hey, what's going on? This is really fucked up. Sesame Place releases a statement and saying that they've reached out to her and they've offered her and her kids to come back to the park. And she comes up right immediately behind and goes, show didn't. They didn't invite her back. They were literally just posting shit for whatever the fuck, for, I guess, I don't know. What do you do that for? What is the purpose of saying that you spoke to somebody, but you didn't speak to somebody, and somebody's going to immediately know that you didn't speak to them? Like, I don't know. But they said that the performer did not intentionally ignore the girls, and that the actor was devastated by the misunderstanding. Like, were you devastated, or could you just have not given everybody a high five? Like, what is you know what I'm saying? Like, so high five, hell no, when you're devastated? So, like, are you devastated, or are those girls devastated? Like, and honestly, guys, if we getting down to the real nitty gritty of this, there's no room for racism on Sesame Street. Like, not when you had a nigga like Gordon running the Sesame Street from like the 70s and the 80s and the 90s and probably to the 2000s too. Gordon was, listen, Sesame Street was ran by a black man, Gordon. Okay, don't do me. He taught all you niggas how to count, how to share, all those things. So don't sit here and act like Sesame Street hates black kids. Like, I don't know what kind of culture Sesame Place has, but it's not giving, is what I'm saying. Like, Jim Henson's probably upset. Maybe, I don't know. A lot of the white dudes back in the day ended up being racist. I don't really know. But I just know that Gordon is really pissed off with that fucking Burt Reynolds mustache sitting on those steps at Sesame Street next to Oscar the Grouch. He's very upset, and you should be too. Okay? But I just, at this point, I'm just going to probably suggest that nobody goes to Sesame Place. I mean, I could be like, okay, this is a fluke, and it only happened to these two girls, which again is still fucking terrible, and it's really terrible to tell people that you talked to their parents and you didn't. But when we're getting down to like Bert being disrespectful, at this point, hang it up. Like, I don't want to be here. You should, like, you don't want me here. I don't want to be here. Why are we, like, I don't know. I'm not a boycotter, but like, I mean, first of all, Sesame Place and Sesame Street ain't even the same places. Like, those are two different streets, and you're on the wrong one. So I say don't go to Sesame Place no more. 102nd Place and 102nd Street are two different places, okay? Anyway, let's move on. Speaking of racism, or not racism, speaking of inappropriate things. Inappropriate. That's the segue. I'm getting back into this, don't trip. So oh my god, I just get rid of it. Oh my god, I just get rid of it. Oh! 1 second. I just got rid of the whole fucking article. But don't worry, I've got it. There is a Vermont ski resort that is changing its insensitive name. And I know you're thinking, like, what is it called? Like, Nigga Hill, Nigga, like, I don't know, like, you think it's probably that, but it's not. It is called, it's a ski resort that is originally known as Suicide 6. Now, they changed it because it's insensitive in 2022. But I ponder, wasn't it insensitive in 1980? In 1990? I don't know, in 2000s. Like, isn't it always offensive to call something suicide anything? I mean, I guess. Wait a second, because we say suicide doors and nobody's telling. Are you guys gonna like make them change that? Suicide doors. What else they say that about? I don't know. But anyway, it's just weird that like it took this long for somebody to be like, I don't like that this is called this. So they are changing the name to, hold on, Saskadena 6. And Saskadena means standing mountain. It's a word from, I don't even want to butcher this, but from another language, obviously. But it's from an indigenous Western tribe of people. I just don't know how to say it, so I don't really want to fuck it up. But that's what it means. This place has been called Suicide fucking 6 for so long. Since since before 1981. No, in the 30s? In the 1930s. Okay, so first off, a couple historic things have happened at Suicide 6, right? So there is a snowboard Hall of Fame honoree that used to work there. He actually installed the first ski lift, but it's primitive. So like when you think of ski lifts, you're thinking like, oh, hop on the little chair and it like takes you up. But like primitive that I'm talking about, where it's just like a rope up there and then a rope down here, and that just like one rope though. So like one end is up there and one is down here, and then it's tight and you just like pull yourself up it until you get up there and then you go back down. So very primitive, but it was considered one of the first ski lifts ever. And he used to, and again, he was a snowboard Hall of Fame honoree, right? He used to joke that going down that hill, the 6th hill, would be suicide. And so they just started calling it Suicide 6. And it's been like that basically since the 30s or 40s, which is fucking crazy. They did decide to change their name, I guess last year, and it just finally came to fruition. There's also another place called Squaw Valley Alpine Meadows Resort. I guess they decided to change their name too to Palisades Tahoe. I don't really know why that was offensive, but I don't know. So yeah, I don't. It's just interesting. Like all of a sudden, suicide is a thing to care about because they said we don't want to be insensitive to mental growing concerns about mental health and blah 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 blah. But like, why are y'all trying to act like mental health is something that just came out? Like, the tale is old as time, I say. All right. Anyway, let's move on. Speaking of people changing things, Lil Uzi Vert has changed their pronouns to they and them. And I'm not even going to spend too much time on this. He changed it in his Instagram bio. He just edited the bio to say they, them, and everybody's freaking out. But like, why y'all freaking out? Why are you guys freaking out? Like, if there was any rapper, I want you to really think about this. If there was any rapper that you would think would want to be considered they or them, or somebody because to my understanding, and I could be wrong, and Dee Dee, if I'm wrong, please tell me, my love. But if you changing pronouns to they and them would make somebody non-binary. Like that makes sense to me, but I don't want to be wrong, or I don't want to be insensitive if that's not correct. But I believe that is correct. And so, but I guess I'm asking, what other rapper could you see because like being fucking non-binary than Lil Uzi Vert? Like, and there's nothing wrong with that, but like, what is the big hoopla? That's what I'm asking. So everybody's like freaking out on the internet. Like a lot of people are like supporting it, of course, because like I just feel like a lot of that support comes from like, we were just waiting on you to let us know. You know what I'm saying? But whatever. So Lil Uzi Vert is now non-binary, and we will address them as such. Okay. I wonder if him and well, excuse me. See y'all. And you know what? I know how I have to understand how frustrating it must be for people who have changed their pronouns and we instinctively still do that. Like I just did it right now, even after I just explained all that. But I wonder if Uzi is still dating JT. I don't really follow that too much. I just see them on pictures sometimes, but yeah, I don't know. Anyway, well, congratulations, Uzi, and if that makes you more comfortable with who you are, and then I'm with it. Listen, you like it, I fucking love it. Let's move on, guys. Guys. Quinta, Brunson, and ABC are being sued for copyright infringement for Abbott Elementary. Y'all know how fucking devastated I am to hear this? Here's the thing, though. Am I devastated enough to stop supporting it? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Thank you for asking. Okay, so, but let's talk about this, right? So, when I'm reading this story, right, I'm thinking, it is so often that you've seen something or heard something that you have already heard or thought about. Does that make sense? Like, do I sound like a fucking nutso? Like, am I high? Like, almost everything has already been done. Can we agree on that? Or like, you know what I'm saying? Like, can we Can we at least live on that plane for a moment, right? So, Abbott Elementary, ABC and Quinta have both been hit with a lawsuit for copyright infringement. Basically, a woman named Christine Davis filed a lawsuit against Quinta and ABC and claims that basically Abbott Elementary is a knockoff of her show, which she was going to call This School Year. She has filed court papers, so this is going forward. But she claims that she wrote her script in 2018 and that her show was registered with the Copyright Office early in 2020, a year before Abbott Elementary's 2021 debut. But hold on, I have a little quip with this because a 2021 debut is not a 2021 we just thought of this, right? I don't know, I could be wrong. Because there's time, you have to develop a cast, you have to go through readings, you have to make anyway. So, but the way that the information is worded, it's stating as if oh, I fucking came up with this in 2020 and they came up with the show the next year, but they would have. It's very possible that this is already in the works. Anyway, can you tell I love Abbott Elementary? Okay, so according to her suit, both shows have similar qualities, including the look and feel of the inner city school, which is because they all kind of look the same. The mockumentary style, which if you guys aren't familiar, think The Office. Anytime you guys think of mockumentary styles, think of The Office, okay? A unique plot synopsis, set design, and unique characters. She's basically saying they stole the whole fucking thing. The lawsuit also alleges that many of the characters are nearly identical. She says that her show follows a New York City public school in which the principal hires filmmakers to film a documentary of the school. She details a series focusing on a principal convinced everything is going well, that the show is well controlled. The show is well controlled, and that the teachers and students will adhere to her agents. But the teachers, staff, and students have their own agenda. The main character is named Miss David. She's a young, idealistic teacher hoping to get tenure, but also trying to convince everyone that the school needs to be reformed. Okay? Now, Brunson's or Quinta's version, which we know is Abbott Elementary, is a half-hour mockumentary-style series that follows a group of dedicated and passionate teachers and a slightly tone-deaf principal at a Philadelphia public school where, despite the odds stacked against them, they're determined to help their students succeed in life. Although the educators are outnumbered and underfunded, they love what they do, even though they don't particularly care for the school district's less than stellar attitude toward educating children. Okay. Do they sound similar? Sure. Is not what's happening in a Philadelphia school probably happening in a New York school? Probably. Don't those schools probably have a good chance of looking like each other? Yes. So I guess what I'm trying to say is that I'm not saying that she didn't create this show. I'm just saying that sometimes stuff just be similar, but don't, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. But if we're talking about legality, that may not fare well for ABC and Quinta. But the suit alleges that in mid-June and July of 2020, Davis contacted Siobhan Sullivan-Wright and Sharice Parks at Blue Parks Productions in Los Angeles and had 3 meetings regarding her show this school year. Davis claims that the producers showed her script to Hulu, and a few months later, Abbott Elementary started filming. Neither producer, though, is connected to Quinta's show, so I don't know if that means anything. I don't know. But I don't know what's going to happen. It is very interesting that this came right as she's being nominated for a bunch of stuff. She's got nominations for Outstanding Comedy Series, Lead Actress in a Comedy, and Outstanding Writing for a Comedy Series. If she wins Lead Actress in a Comedy and Outstanding Writing for a Comedy Series, she would be the second Black woman to ever win in those categories ever. Louise from The Jeffersons won for Lead Actress in a Comedy in 1981, and then we know that Ho-ass Lena Waithe won in 2017 for Master of None. We know that. So I don't know. So it's just very interesting that this happens right as she is being nominated for all these things. So we'll see what happens. And we rooting for Abbott Elementary. We don't go fuck. All right, guys, let's move on. Speaking about a nigga that don't give no fuck, Chris Brown. This nigga Chris Brown don't give a flying fuck about nothing or nobody. He took $1 million from somebody to have a fucking hurricane relief concert in Houston, and he never did that shit. Now listen, I could play this for y'all, but I'm just going to explain it in my words because that's funnier to me. So, so a lady in Houston, right? She is saying that, you know, the devastation from the hurricane has left a lot of people with unresolved, like, housing problems, right? People's houses are still in shambles. Like, there's still work that needs to be done in the city. Nobody would disagree with that, right? Okay. So, she... her idea is like, I'm going to have a concert. I'm going to have Chris Brown there. Chris Brown going to dance and backflip. And all of the dollars are going to come in so we can help these people rebuild their lives after this hurricane. And that sounds like a great idea, right? So then they gather $1 million, $1 million to give to Christopher to come and dance and, you know, whatever, right? He signs for the wire transfer, so he gets the money, and then his people just kind of be like, and they end up not doing it. It got canceled from the end of last year to like March or something of this year, and it just never happened. And he has not returned the funds, and the lady is suing him. But guys, here is my question. If, and I'm not saying, I don't know how much it costs for hurricane relief, okay? I literally don't. I wish I did, but I literally don't. With that being said, it seems like to me, as a person who is not a hurricane relief person, right? Like, I don't know those numbers. It seems to me that $1 million could have definitely put a dent in whatever the fuck you guys are trying to do out there. Why would y'all gather $1 million to give to this dancing cokehead? Like, and again, guys, sorry if you guys are super hot, die-hard Chris Brown fans still. Like, I like him or whatever, but I'm not going to take away from the fact he's a dancing cokehead, okay? Like, you can't change my mind. It just doesn't make sense to give $1 million to somebody like that and then for you, what kind of dancing did you think what kind of singing and dancing did you think he was going to come out to raise more than $1 million for y'all? Okay, he done got y'all $2 million, but you spent $1 million to get him here. So in actuality, you only got $1 million more. Like, what kind of shit do y'all think Chris Brown was coming out here to do that y'all was gonna get like $50 million? Because I'm sitting here like thinking, again, $1 million should be able to put a dent in whatever the fuck you trying to do. Like, I can't see Chris Brown raising millions of dollars for hurricane relief in 2022. This isn't lispy Chris Brown, like, you know what I'm saying? You made me say, yo, this is not that Chris Brown. And I know y'all still like him, and that's cool. Like I said, he cool or whatever. But what are we saying? Like, you literally handed $1 million to a cokehead. First of all, stripping everything down back to basics. Why are you giving cokeheads money? Like, ugh. Anyway, look, he's getting sued for it. I don't know what's going to happen. I mean, really, he just got to get that shit back. Like, the fact that niggas have to go to court to be like, get that shit back, right? Like, because it's not like you don't have it. Like, wouldn't you have just been done? I don't know. I don't know what kind of person he is, but it just seems like, and it's not even it's 1.1 million, so, and $100, like, or $100,000. I don't know how much money they thought this nigga was gonna bring in. They felt like $1 million was worth him. Like, I'm sorry, guys. Like, there's no way people are still paying Chris Brown $1 million to show up anywhere. Like, maybe I'm wrong. Prove me wrong, but I think I'm right. So anyway, he's on notice, and he better bring their shit back. Speaking of people who do things in excess, I don't know if you guys have seen the story, but a man in South Africa entered a contest and died about 2 minutes later. So what happened was a fucking South African liquor store was like, oh, we need some promotion. How can we get people to come in? How can we get traffic? And they were like, light bulb, I will host a fastest alcohol drinking contest, which off top sounds egregious, right? It just sounds, it's egregious. Okay, so they have the contest. People show up. Hey, what's the drink of choice? Jägermeister. Yeah, you're literally trying to kill me. So first of all, you're giving me Jägermeister. Off top, you're trying to murder me. And now you're trying to get me to chug it down as fast as I can? You are a murderer, sir. Okay. A young man, like I said, South Africa, he collapsed. He downed an entire bottle of Jaeger in about 2 minutes. They are not identifying him, but he's between the ages of 25 and 30. He was taken to a local clinic, but he definitely was dead. There was a video going around, and I don't know if it's because I'm getting older, but like there's some videos I'm just not gonna watch, right? I don't want to watch somebody drink themselves to death. But there was a video out there on Twitter, I think, that they had like where they showed him like drinking the whole bottle. And here's the fucking worst part. This is the part that probably stings the worst about this whole thing. I mean, of course, the fact that somebody died, but the fucking prize for if you didn't die was literally the equivalent of like $12 in the United States. And I don't know, like, if that is like life-changing for somebody in Africa. It can't be life-changing. It can't be life-changing. But not you died over $12. Like, so RIP to you, guy. I guess, like, what does God say to you when you get up there? Like, nigga, did you really just, okay. Anyway. Speaking of things that are punishable by God, former Amazon employee has been accused of stealing hundreds of thousands of dollars in merchandise from warehouses. So he works at one of the warehouses, right? But what he would do is he would go in on like an off day or whatever and walk through and just like pocket shit. And then, I guess when he had a little bit of free time, he would drive to other places, Alabama and Mississippi, just to be exact. And he would go into those warehouses with his uniform on and did the same thing. It started out in Georgia, near Atlanta, where he stole more than $30,000 worth of merchandise from the distribution center. Then he, at that point, went to these other places. He actually was arrested in one of the other places, and they're waiting to extradite him to Georgia. I don't know if they're gonna combine it. It seems smart to combine it because it's technically just like one store, you know, or one place. But niggas are so bold. Like, you're so bold. Like, these niggas don't even let you pee. Like, you think they was gonna let you just get away with it? Okay. I have a confession. And I don't know how you guys are going to feel about it. I don't know if you guys are going to look at me any different. I just don't know, right? But I learned some information about me as I was on hiatus. And it's disturbing. And I shared it with a few people, but I guess I'm okay to share it with you guys. So when we're friends here. Don't judge me. But when I was growing up, my grandmother, growing up, I had a favorite toy, right? It's Teddy Ruxpin. I loved him to death, right? Um, my grandmother told me while I was on hiatus that a police officer gave me that. And Teddy Ruxpin had a tape deck in him. So I don't know if I'm like a CI or what's happening. So I just want to just like really come clean. Like I may or may not have put people in jail in the early, like, or the fucking early 90s, no, it was late 80s, late 80s, early 90s for sure. So I got a Teddy Ruxpin. Apparently it was from a police officer. I I feel like if I would have been given a choice, I would have definitely declined the cop's toy. But I received a gift from a police officer, Teddy Ruxpin. He was literally my favorite. I took him everywhere. We did everything together. He might have been in the room in a couple of like, interesting situations. I don't know. So I just want to just put it out there that if anybody is in jail because of me or Teddy, on behalf of both of us, I just want to apologize. I had no idea. I was just a child. And if it makes you feel any better, Teddy has also passed. He's passed away. So dead men tell no tales. He might have been a recording device. Okay, guys. It's time for the one up for the week. And I swear to God, I like really had it like something that I wanted to say. And just trying to make sure that I got everything into this podcast today about Tyrone Moore, about Yatis. Thank you, girl. I just really just wanted to make sure I touched on everything that I really didn't get a chance to do a one up for the week. But I'm going to give it to you just off the top of the dome. Just be nice to each other. Life is hard enough, man. So that's it. Take care of everybody. Love each other. Whatever Jerry Springer be saying at the end of his show. Okay, guys. Episode 147 is in the books. It's been my pleasure. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.